How's practice today?
It was a good day. It was a good Wednesday. We came out focused. You could tell everybody, really wanted to bring up the juice and everything. Assignment sound, really no inmates today. I would say it was a pretty good practice for sure.
Tell me about this opponent you guys are facing. They seem as good as they were last season, don't they?
Oh, for sure. We kind of expected, a drop off, but those guys, they reloaded, and they're loaded at the quarterback position again. They have really good wide receivers, good running back. And, when you have a really good quarterback, you always have a chance. So we're going to hopefully, throw some things his way to where he's not comfortable. But we definitely know we have a great opponent ahead of us.
Has having that extra day with the Friday game changed the way you prepare for Western Kentucky at all, or is it the same routine?
It's the same routine. We had more recovery days. We have a lot of guys banged up. So those extra days, just rest and treatment really paying off this week for sure.
How'd you feel about the defensive performance overall last week?
I would say bend but not break. We didn't just completely stone them and shut them out, but we played our brand of football, physical, just flying around. Some guys are going to miss some plays every now and then, but, after we miss a tackle, there's always a guy right there to come finish them up, and that's, that just goes down to effort.
There's been a lot of change with Western Kentucky since the last time you faced them. How do you compare this year's group to the one that you faced last season? Are there big differences there?
Scheme-wise, they're very similar. They were, one of the best offenses probably of all time last year, but there's not much drop-off. They're still explosive, offensive juggernaut, like to throw the ball around, spread the ball around, and get their guys the ball in space.
Does the quarterback change anything for you guys? What Reed does versus what Zappy did last year? Are there differences there? Are they similar kind of players?
Zapp, yeah, there's definitely differences, but at the end of the day, he's a great quarterback, and he could fit it anywhere. We have to be vertically sound for sure, and if you leave anybody running scot-free open, he's gonna hit them every time. So,
when the scheme is pretty similar, how much can you benefit from the work you guys did last year? Does that make it easier to prepare for them again this time around?
Well, we have a different team. We have a lot of different guys on defense. So I would say just being a returner, we just know what to expect, and we know how to prepare. We can't let guys catch the ball in practice, because all that stuff will show up on Saturday, and that's what we're trying to preach to the the new guys, the transfers, the freshmen. Just let them know, like, if anybody is a little bit open, they're gonna find them, every time.
You touched on the tackling. How would you evaluate the group's tackling overall so far this season, your defense?
I'll say it's been pretty good. Obviously, we can improve for sure, but it's college football. Those guys on offense are, they're on scholarship too, so they're gonna make some plays too. But yeah, I'll say it's been pretty okay.
Kelechi, what about overall the overall play of the defense so far? Are you happy with what you've seen these first 5 games?
From a physical standpoint, definitely. We know what we expect, and we expect to make a lot of takeaways. And that's the only thing right now that we're really trying to, key in and focus on to improve on in the future.
How do you guys, I guess, improve the takeaways? For that? That's kind of an interesting comment. Is it just like technique and stuff, or?
It's making the most of every opportunity that comes your way. And then as far as fumbles and all that, that's just, when you're chasing the ball down, instead of just wrapping them up, throw a punch in there, just little things like that, and we'll work it in individual, or we'll have a takeaway circuit and stuff like that.
You feel like the takeaways are coming for you guys, or?
For sure, definitely coming.
Coach Traylor was explaining to us that for you guys as a defense, the first guy to the ball often is responsible for forcing the rusher or the receiver back towards the rest of the defense. He's a cut the face essentially. Can you tell me a little bit about your guys' philosophy when you're in pursuit, especially if you're the first guy to the ball?
So if you're the first guy to the ball, it's kind of in a way kind of like punt. Think of a gunner. A gunner, you don't want the gunner to slow down at all. You want him to just go in there and fly in, and that's kind of the way we're taught as well. Just go in, fly in. If you miss a tackle, force them to cut back inside, because everybody else is pursuing to the ball, running to the ball. They're going to be right there for you. And then if he doesn't cut in, it's just going to be a big hit on his outside shoulder, outside leg.
What's the philosophy like for everybody else in pursuit once the first guy kind of forces that adjustment from the ball carrier to to be there to make up and clean up the play? What goes into that from the other perspective?
So the only difference is the guy that's taking the shot, his angle is going to be to the guys outside. So no matter what, make the tackle or miss the tackle, the guy has to cut in. Everybody else that's in pursuit is looking to pin the hip. So, you're running the angle to where you can pin the hip so he can't just keep cutting back on everybody.
Coach Trailer said that every coach he talks to after the game is impressed with the effort you guys put in on defense to make something like that work with the way you guys swarm with the ball. Where do you guys find kind of the motivation or the fire to play with that much energy week to week?
That's the standard. If you want to play, that's what we expect, and that's the only way you'll get on the field. And if you don't do it like that, then you won't get on the field. So that's just how it is, and that's how it always will be here.
When it comes to the actual process of making the tackle, how much do you guys drill that or work on that in a given practice week? I know it's tough because you're not wanting to exert yourself too much physically.
Every day, every rep, it's just going to keep getting better and better. It's a long season, and each week tackling will be better for sure, every week.
Are there certain drills that target that? I know you're not hitting live bodies day to day. How do you approach it?
Approaching is just your angles, and even if you're not tackling, once you get there, how you bend and press the hip and all that, it'll all translate to the game.
All right, Coach, appreciate it. Thanks.
Thank you, sir.